Our first guest is one of the top fitness and conditioning coaches in sports today. Since the mid-1990s, Paul Winsper has worked with a number of major sports organizations, including a 10-year stint as the fitness coach for the Newcastle United Football Club, one of the top English soccer teams, and an extended tenure as the sports performance director for another well-known sports apparel manufacturer before becoming the director of athlete performance at Under Armour. We are grateful Paul has taken the time to join Jack and Joe on today's show.
Man, we are pretty serious about loyalty to sponsors. we wouldn't even identify your previous employer. That's
They don't even exist. They're just out there in the realm. He must not be named. Yeah.
For our listeners and viewers, it's Nike. But welcome. We are thrilled to have you here. Not merely to have you on the Joe Schmidt Show, which is sort of the foundation.
Obviously, this is what it's become.
It's the foundational piece of media around here. But we're happy to have you here because of all your presence represents your engagement with us on trying to think about how to improve the well-being and performance of our student athletes. I want to start by thanking you for all you're doing to think about these issues with Notre Dame.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. It's great to be here. It's a pretty special partnership, and what we're trying to do with you and your team, and it's pretty exciting for me to be part of as well. So thank you.
Give me you've been looking at us and working with us for a little while now. Give me your impressions of Notre Dame, where we are, where our focus should be going forward. What do you see when you look at us?
I see a really big vision. I see a vision that lots of people have visions. Lots of people build amazing mission statements and they build the documents and the PowerPoints, but not many people actually execute on that. But what I'm seeing is a big vision, but the execution is coming along beautifully. So I'm fortunate enough to have a great relationship with Mike, and Mike and I speak almost every week, sometimes more than once per week. Mike came out and beat in Portland, and I've been out here a couple of times. It's just been an amazing relationship, but to help with that big vision, and I think I have the ability to. I'm not with a team at this point. And there's a ton of pressure, Saturday comes and you got to get 3 points. And I'm traveling the world looking at the best technologies and what the best coaches are doing and the best performance guys. And to be able to bring it back and then build it into this with Mike is just amazing.
Mike, by the way, is Mike Harrity.
Sorry, Mike Harrity.
Is that area up for us?
That's so interesting. And I know you started right in soccer or football. Sorry, I mean I struggle with the two, but. What exactly, how did you transition from just being a soccer trainer and being an excellent one at that, but this is such a different role now with kind of seeing all the different training styles and kind of piecing those together to make the best thing for your athletes now at Under Armour? Yeah,
it's a really good question. I never look at the sport. I always look at the athlete. And everything we do is almost like sport agnostic. So we look at how the athlete moves, we look at their readiness, we look at every single thing to do with how we put them out to perform their particular sport in an optimized state. So I never ever look at the sport. I can go and work with an NFL team, an NBA team, a soccer team, a cricket team, doesn't matter. We look at the athlete first, and that's the beauty of the job.
And was it always that way for you?
Always.
So did you start?
Well, what I would do is I didn't actually start in soccer. I started in cricket, but you guys don't know cricket, so it doesn't matter. So we'll not even talk about that.
I know it's a crazy good sport, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It takes days to play. I know that.
Long time.
4 days, and you can still have a draw.
Exactly, which is.
So I actually started in cricket and then transferred across to the soccer.
Okay.
But I worked with an amazing guy at Durham University, Dr. Peter Warburton, and we tried to do the same way back in the 90s at Durham University. So they had the first cricket centre of excellence, and we had all the smartest young students coming in who were playing then professional cricket. So we had a chance to test this whole model. What is excellence about, and how do we work with the students' academic life and their training and their nutrition and their psychology. So we did this way back in the 90s, and so Peter was kind of pioneering in the UK with this type of model.
Yeah. One of the things I've loved so much about your approach and the way you've helped us is your focus on the practical application. One of the great examples of that for me was when you told us in all the data we swim in, you can't ever give a coach more than a couple of pieces a day, right? I mean,
absolutely.
because otherwise you're not going to optimize it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the big things, Jack, is to simplify. So I think the years of experience allow us to get to the point really, really quickly. As a young guy in the performance field, I'd run and tell the coach everything. I had all this knowledge and I wanted everybody to know. And the coach said, a great example is Sir Bobby Robson is one of the greatest coaches in the game of soccer. And I remember running into his room and I had this beautiful big report done by Prozone and all this amazing data. And I said, we outran Man United, we did more sprints and more this. And he said, yeah, but they beat us 3-0. Like, what are you telling me this for? So I had to learn really quickly. And then in the end, you would just go on with the report and say, guys are great, everything's awesome. Like 3 things. You get to say 3 things and make sure the 3 things are valid and are going to add to his knowledge. And if you don't have anything to say, don't say a thing. Just get out the room, so you learn quickly.
So those 3 things, that's got to be difficult to decide what those 3 things are and how do you do that?
Yeah, we would just look basically at the team and I would be working with the assistant manager, the assistant coach, and we would just look at the readiness of the team. We'd bring the medical guys would bring their reports in and we just make sure it was all boiled together and we'd come in and say 74% of the guys are good to go, all green, we're going to pull these 3 guys out to do this, and the coach would say, awesome, great. Now get out. So
that's great. I mean, that's really fun. So now you're in this role with Under Armour. You're the director of athlete performance, correct? Mm-hmm. And so, how do you decide what to do with your time? There's obviously a limited amount of time, and I know limited amounts about the training world, but I know that there are so many different camps, and you could spend all of your time just researching. How do you decide what to look into and where to go and who to talk to? And
we're very careful with our time. I mean, as you say, that it's a small team and we're looking to expand.
Yeah.
So we have to use our time wisely. So what we do is and this comes back to the vision of my boss as well. Kevin Haley is he's had so many promotions. I don't know what he is now. He's executive vice president. But what Kevin does is he keeps us really focused. So I speak to him regularly and say, it's Notre Dame and it's US speed skating. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Wow.
Okay, so what about... Nope, that's it. So it keeps us razor sharp. So when I'm in the field, I try to make sure that everything's either going to work with the US speed skating guys or work with Notre Dame. So when Mike and I have the conversations, I'm looking at the partners and saying, I think this will fit and I think this technology might work and I think we could bring these guys in and do a pilot study with Notre Dame. It's very easy to sell Notre Dame, by the way. When I'm working with these external partners... For them, even if they're big established companies, it's really, really good for them to have Notre Dame on their resume as well. So it's not a hard sell for me to say we can trial some of this with the student athletes here. Oh, wow. So we keep razor focused. The main piece is about athlete readiness. That's became an obsession, is how do we measure the readiness of the athletes, because this generic programming just doesn't work. We know that. It's Monday, we're all going to lift heavy. It's Tuesday, we're all going to run fast. Right. Doesn't work like that. So we're trying to build these really bespoke programs to optimize the athletes.
Yeah, and what I see increasingly is not only by sport, but within the sport by position.
Yeah.
Very different approaches to recognizing that the 325-pound defensive lineman and the 165-pound defensive back have different needs, different requirements, different recovery rates, and you got to get down to that level, right?
Absolutely, and even more than that, Jack, is you might have a 325-pound defensive tackle that shouldn't be squatting with weight on his back. Yet you could have a 185-pound quarterback that can squat the gym. It all comes down to owning the movement and being ready to perform the exercise. So when I say readiness, we don't just look at physiological readiness, like are you ready to go and run, or we actually look at movement readiness. Is your ankle giving you the range? Is your knee stable? Is your hip mobile? Is your lumbar spine stable? Is your T-spine mobile? Because if they're not, you shouldn't really be putting load through it. And again, Mike Harrody's introduced me to the athletics department. You guys have got a really talented group of guys that are embracing and taking this on board. So it's been good.
Well, the challenge of keeping Joe together and ready takes an army.
I was thinking about that. I was like, my ankle mobility, my shoulder mobility.
I did look you up, but I said to Mike, I'm a performance director, not a magician. So
There's really not much I could do.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
lack of athleticism and serious injury that really combined to make the worst of both worlds.
Exactly.
How do you? So you talk a lot about the emotion, motion and making sure the body's working for each and every athlete.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're the guy at Under Armour. So how do you get in with even just for somebody on our teams here at Notre Dame, or even the people on the U.S. speed skating team? There's a lot of those people, and there's one of you. How do you do that?
We do it through collaboration and partnership. So we would look for the best platforms to assess athlete movement and readiness, and then we would bring them in through Mike, and then we present them to the team, and the team will say yes, no, don't know, let me have a deeper investigation. A great example would be the Fusionetics platform. It's an amazing platform. Just look at how athletes move. Mm-hmm. And you guys were already speaking to them, and I thought I was bringing this gem, and Mike said, I think we're already speaking to that group. So you guys are already doing a lot of this stuff organically, because you have really talented staff here. So my role in that was trying to broker a deal with Fusionetics to kind of get it in and get the costs right and make sure that we're implementing the programs. So.
Well, I know you're making us so much better. I can't tell you how much we value this partnership. As we said the day we announced the Under Armour partnership, maybe the thing that excited us the most was the opportunity to partner in technology developments that benefit athletes, and they have delivered the greatest possible asset in your skill and expertise, and we are thrilled to have you as a partner. So thanks for being with us today and all you do for Notre Dame Athletics, and we'll be back in a minute.
Thank you, Jack.
Thanks you very much.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.